this guy I know named Trent Peacock said something incredibly stupid. Supposedly, he's a politician. He wouldn't list his specific ranking. Is he running for mayor, governor, Senate? I don't know Canadian politics all that well, but I would imagine it's pretty much just like American. And so what's he running for? He says he has a good chance of winning, that he has 12% or 10% of the voting caucus, and he's running on a socialist platform. I have yet to find anyone with his name anywhere regarding Canadian politics. So I think he's making it all up. And if he was such a socialist, then he would realize the plight of the working class when it comes to oil and gas prices. Because it was an unrelated topic. I was talking to somebody else about gas prices, and he barged in and took it upon himself to suggest that we do not pay high prices for gas, especially Americans, and that Americans need to stop bitching. Are you retarded? Are you so super rich that you do not see how much people have to pay for gas on a weekly basis? Either you're rich or you just are bad at math. Because let's say gas costs $4 a gallon, and you use 5 gallons per week. That's $20. And considering minimum wage and things like that, let's say you make $400 a week, give or take. That's 20%, not 20%, 5% of your income per week. 5% of your total income, not counting taxes, not counting living expenses such as food, electricity, housing, things like that. 5% flat of your money going to gas alone. Just for gas, just to get to work, just to drive around where you need to go on a daily basis, costs 5% of your income. Think about that. There is no turning that around with, well, if we didn't have to pay taxes, then we could... No, because, taxes make up only a minuscule compared to your basic living essentials. 5% every week goes to gas. And what do you need gas for? Mostly to go to work. So you need a job to make money to pay for gas, which you're going to use to go to work. So you're working to pay for gas to go to work. Do you see the circular logic of this? Do you see the enslavement? And why would a so-called socialist not see that? I mean, I know a socialist is not a communist, and they think they can just tweak the system, a tax here, a regulation there, a subsidy there, give a little slivers of redistribution to the poor. But I would think that a so-called socialist would understand the trouble that people have to go through. Now, mind you, I know that in other countries, socialism is not as big of a deal as in America. In America, if you call yourself a socialist, you may as well call yourself a communist. To Americans, there is no differentiation. And, so it's just as radical to call yourself a socialist, even though it really isn't. So I can understand that as a socialist, he might just be a Democrat or a liberal or a green third way clusterfuck or whatever. But even so, he should understand that the poor spend a lot of fucking money on basic living essentials. If you spend 5% on gas, it's safe to assume you're going to spend at least another 5% on electricity, on mortgage, on food, etc. And, this changes from person to person, but most often it changes in the higher stakes direction. Because what if you have an SUV? Now, a lot of people say that, it's your fault for showing off your big car. But what if they are using that car? What if you're carpooling or something? A lot of people carpool because their kids are doing stuff. God forbid, kids should have lives and, be going to soccer practice or be going to having a band or, doing something constructive. And so you carpool. that costs more money, because to carry around that big-ass SUV costs even more in gas. So I don't believe that just because somebody has a gas guzzler that they're not using it constructively. I do believe sometimes that, yes, it is useless. It's because they want to show off, like a lot of these rednecks with their pickup trucks. But even so, a lot of times they do use those pickup trucks for something useful. They use it to carry furniture. Whenever you need someone to, pick up crap for you or something, you call the guy with the pickup truck. So there are reasons to have these vehicles. And, if we use vehicles primarily for things that are to help our daily lives, they're not just for recreation, it would stand to reason gas would be super cheap. But it isn't. Even though there is a huge supply of gas, there is more supply than demand for gas. That's something a lot of people don't know, is that we have more gas than we know what to do with. But yet, because of the way the market is set up, because the bourgeoisie own everything and can dictate the price of the gas, it's expensive nonetheless. It's like that with the housing market too. We have houses collecting dust because nobody can afford them. There are more houses than people, and yet we're not lowering the prices of houses. Hell, even giving them away. We could give away the houses, and we're not, because that market is so tight. It is so secured in the 1%'s hands that they don't have to give it up. They do not have to accommodate for the natural progression of supply and demand. That is what's wrong with capitalism. You cannot rely on supply and demand. You cannot rely on the kindness of strangers. If someone owns something, they can exploit something. They can control something. And they can force you over a barrel. Because what are you going to do? Are you just not going to drive a car anymore? Are you just supposed to walk to work? Ride a bicycle? A bus? Good luck with that. Good luck living your daily life on a bicycle or a bus. You stupid asshole, Trent Peacock. Is that even a real name? So, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous to believe that gas prices are not high. It's ridiculous to believe that housing prices are not high. And it's ridiculous to believe that it isn't done intentionally, because they can do it to you, because there's nothing you can do about it, because they own the capital and you don't. It's the same thing with moderators. It's not, Jim Profit doesn't get banned because he's an asshole. Jim Profit doesn't get banned because, he's just rude and has nothing to contribute. I work my fucking ass off to make a forum good. When I was on TV Tropes, I wrote 99% of those wiki pages. If you read anything on TV Tropes, it was probably made by me, or at least altered by me to be better. I improved TV Tropes. TV Tropes is only good because of Jim Profit. But did Jim Profit get any money out of it? No. Did Jim Profit get any recognition out of it? No. But somehow, Fast Eddie gets to dictate who can and can't post at TV Tropes, who can and can't see the website. And then those motherfuckers at Beyond the Lampshade are just as bad, and refuse to see that point, and just ban each other, and fucking slap each other's faces with their dicks and everything. And they need to fucking die of AIDS, because this is fucking maddening. This is insane. The fact that a few people get to own everything and then get to tell you how to act and tell you what to do and tell you how much you get paid and tell you how much you have to pay back in order to get something, it needs to stop. If you want gas prices to go down, if you want mortgage rates to go down, you're going to have to take it. You're going to have to take the means of production from their hands. You're going to have to take the land, take the food, take the electricity, take everything. You're going to have to literally grab it for yourself. You can call it stealing if you want, but it isn't stealing. It is defending yourself. They are using violence against you. They are threatening you with starvation, with enslavement, with, a complete workload that you just cannot bear. They're making you sacrifice your time, your effort, and everything for absolutely nothing at all. So don't fucking tell me it's not stealing. So don't fucking tell me that, everything's fine and I'm just overreacting. Don't fucking tell me that gas prices are okay. You don't know shit. Okay? So, and I know I could probably word this better, but it just amazes me how, people that want to claim to be rational and reasonable, can't muster the intelligence to see this obviousness. So I guess that's all I have to say.